Hello, everyone, and welcome to Conversations with Sarah. Today is May 7th, 2020, Thursday, and we have with us Rebecca and Gurdan. Uh, Thank you, everyone, for joining us on YouTube land, Facebook land, Internet land. And you can find me on sarahoxidine.com for sessions or conversations with Sarah on Facebook or Sarah Oxidine on YouTube. So today we decided to begin with the topic of spheres of influence. And Rebecca here was telling us a story of a friend first. And Rebecca, you want to start with that and then I can spread out.
Okay. Just that I have a friend and, I have a few friends and I have a particular friend that, I want to try to stay in touch with this person because I feel like they need to have someone to be there so they can just kind of have them to talk to and know that somebody cares about them, I guess. And I want to be there for that person. And I've told them that I will always be here if they need to talk,
Yes.
to me or with me or, even though, even regardless of whatever else is going on, I just want to try to help however
Yes.
I can.
And I mentioned before that's because she's a healer, whether she understands it
Well,
or
I
not.
never thought of myself that way, but, I do like to try to help
Yes.
in my own small way, if I
And
can.
do you find that your friends come to you whenever they have a problem or a
Oh,
situation?
yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, big time, all the time. I gotta
Yes.
say, I am always, not always, but a lot of times people ask me for advice and whatever, and I like to give it. I'm really good at giving advice, not so good at taking it, but I'm very good at giving it. So that's
That's
kind of
wonderful.
nice.
Well, we're as healers, we hold space for everyone around us. We hold space
Right.
so they can come to us and tell us what's going on, whether they understand it consciously or unconsciously, that we are there to provide a service of just having a listening ear. And when
Mm-hmm.
they unload whatever they're feeling with us, we're actually providing them a service and ourselves a service
Oh, yeah.
because we learn in the process through their experiences of what's going on. And not only that, uh, when that person comes to you, you're actually helping that person and whoever they may be in contention with or having an issue with, or that person and their family members, because that person is now calmer. That person can now be a little bit relaxed in their environment because they were allowed to release energy within them.
Mm-hmm.
And so that person, along with all of their friends, their family, their coworkers, everyone gets healed just by that one person being allowed to release some of their heavy burdens
Mm-hmm.
with the healers around them.
Right. Right.
And so a lot of us don't understand the actual power of what we're doing as the ones who are holding space. So I wanted to point that out today, that we are actually having a greater influence in our own lives and the people around us than we even understand ourselves.
Yes, I had never thought of it that way until you explained it to me. And like it's pretty overwhelming when you think of it that way. It's
Yes.
like, but I mean, it's really great too to think that you can be helping so many people by helping one person. That's really a nice thing. That really
Yes.
is.
Dan, do you have anything to say to this?
No, that's true.
That's true.
Yeah, it's true.
Do you have
Yeah,
anything
they
to
don't
add to this?
understand the ramifications. You can help one person, and if it uplifts them even for just a little bit, and shift their energy field, um, for as long as they can hold it. So I mean, somebody can come to you all upset, and if you can help them shift their energies to a calm spot, then they can, well, they just follow nature, right? So if you're in a calmer state, then you transmit that calmer frequency. And if you're transmitting a calmer frequency, then everybody else can feel that. So people don't understand how much energy they actually carry around,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't understand, the side effects of these energies. It's you can carry a lot of good energy with you, but you can secretly be carrying a lot of negative energy with you, and they don't understand. And I've seen people on this planet carry a grudge over something stupid that
Mm.
happened 50 years ago, and they've carried that energy for so long that now it's manifest as a cancer, or manifest as an illness, or manifest as something else. It's trying to come out of them so hard, and it wouldn't come out of them any other way, right? They weren't allowing it to come out. Allowing a letting. I made a new word right there. They weren't allowing it to come out. They were never working on it, and that energy wants out, so it'll come out as, oh, my knees hurt, or this or that. Oh,
Yeah.
I work so hard. Why am I having this pain? I don't know. Holding any grudges lately? Because oh, I don't hold any grudges against anything. Oh,
Mhm.
really? Because you seem to talk about this a lot, or you seem to talk about that a lot, or you seem to mention this a lot. And it's like, are you ever going to work on those, or are you just going to carry them around? And that's another thing. Some people are carrying around stuff they don't realize they're carrying around.
Right.
It's like they're carrying around beliefs that
Mhm.
aren't their own. They were inherited or given to them by parents or somebody else or society or their neighborhood or whatever, and they're carrying energies that aren't them. And then that can have a ramification on your physicality. And so
Yeah.
it's
And that has
it
its
it,
own sphere of
it,
influence as
it, it,
well.
it does. And it's so, man, it's one of those things that's not taught very much, but it's very, very true that
Mm-hmm.
maybe the most polite way to say it is those people who work on themselves and get over their stuff, and are consciously working on their own reprogramming.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the ones who seem to do the best. The ones who go within a little bit, the ones who do the kind of soul searching, the ones that say, you know what, I don't like this energy anymore. Where'd I get that energy from? Oh, I picked it up from my mom, or I picked it up from my dad, or I picked it up from my brother, or I picked it up from one of my brother's friends when they were beating me up, or I picked up this idea wherever I picked it up at.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been carrying this thing for like 30 years, 40 years. And so why the hell is that even still in there? That instance that started that only lasted for probably less than 5 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
has been damaging my life for 30 years. It's been in there rolling around. You forget it's in there, but
Yeah.
you're so used to having it that you think if you don't have it,
Mhm.
again, you think it attacks your comfort zone. But actually, no, it's so healing if you would take it out of there and then put something more positive in its spot. Say, okay, I'm going to take this bad idea out. I'm going to get rid of it. I'm not going to think about that instance. I'm not going to think about those people. I'm not going to think about that time frame anymore. And I'm going to replace it with, I don't know, chicken pot pie or chocolate or anything. I'm going to replace it with some kind of, unconditionally loved thing. I'm going to, you know what, instead of having that space be ugly, I'm going to put, like, I don't know, kittens there.
Well, first, that energy that you mentioned has to be diffused in
You have,
some
yeah,
way.
to diffuse it, you just have to
In some way.
realize it's there. You have to recognize and go, oh, that thing has been there a really long time. And I put it there to protect myself, or I put it there
Mhm.
or as a protection from something else, or as a warning, or whatever. Back when there might have been a time, climates change all the time, and not climate by temperature, but climate by, it's like, oh, there were times our neighborhood was pretty rough, and there were other times our neighborhood was really nice and you could walk no problem. And there were times that you couldn't walk and you'd be bullied all the time. And there were times, sometimes it was even worse than that, and people would actually, become violent just because they wanted to be jerks. It's the climates of the environment can change, but
Yeah.
we create these ideas, say, during times of turmoil, and then the turmoil's gone, but we're still holding on to this thing.
Well,
Mhm.
that's the reason why conversation is so important, and especially conversation with those who do the work for themselves, because they can give you their perspectives of reality and how they were able to release those types of emotions that have been stagnant for years. It's just like the stagnation that you see in a pool that hasn't, when the water hasn't been moved, that energy just stays there. And that's why it can become some sort of, let's say, dis-ease
Yeah.
within the system, because the energy has not left the system. It has stayed and remained stagnant.
Mhm.
Well, it's like people are not in the habit of clearing their energies. It's
Yeah.
like, when in physicality, if you want to clear out old energies, you'll have a garage sale, right? And these people, they'll have a garage sale, a couple of times a year, and they'll clean out all their old junk. But they
Yeah.
won't do anything about clearing out the energies that they have that are no longer serving them anymore. They don't do anything. They can have a garage sale, but they won't, soul search correctly, or they won't,
But they will
you know,
talk to a friend.
they might talk to a friend, but if
They
that
will
friend is
talk
in
to
the
a
same
friend.
kind of
Mm.
storm that they're in, if they were
True.
brought up in the same kind of environment, that friend could very well, just reinforce the thing
Mhm.
that they're talking. Oh yeah, I remember when that happened, and Billy Bob did this, and Joe Bob did that, and blah 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 blah, and we all did this, and then there was the war.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, see,
Well,
and then that doesn't get anywhere. So sometimes you just
yeah,
have to
but
do it yourself.
sometimes you have to do it yourself, but sometimes you can find that one friend who is doing the work, who's that one friend who says, oh, I meditate, that one friend who says, oh, I connect to my energy, I connect to my thoughts and emotions. And that's the friend you can speak to a little bit more openly than you would, anyone else around you.
True. And then that's the beginning of the healing process, because that
Yeah,
friend who's worked on themselves is carrying the frequency of releasing that
Mhm.
energy that's been pent up. So let's just call it
exactly.
pent up energies, because it just either forgotten energies or pent up or not unrealized.
Yeah.
So really the unrealized energy is really something to be looking at,
Well,
especially these days. I mean, look at all the anger that's around these days
Oh
yeah,
my.
but
that's coming up to be worked out.
Yeah.
people will unconsciously know to go to that friend, is what I'm saying.
Well, I
But
believe you're right.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, they will. The soul
I
will
wish,
chime
I
in.
wish I had a friend like that, actually, Sarah. Sorry, Dan. What were you going to say?
No, the,
I,
the soul will chime in at times
Yeah.
like that. The soul will, you won't know that you're doing your soul's will, right? So and
mhm.
your soul will just take you to that friend. You won't know that you're doing it. Your soul's going, yeah, go hang out with so and so. Yeah, they're interesting and they're funny and they make weird food, but they're fun to hang out with because they're, you know, really
Yeah.
sometimes the person that's different, that
Yeah.
refreshing person is
Very
different for a
very
reason, that they have something that you could
Mhm.
use, and your
Need.
soul will say, hey, yeah, we need another a bump of that. We need another calm fix, another frequency fix. Yeah, go see so and so, and then your soul will guide you over to them so that it can get its get the sharing of the frequencies. So
Yes,
yeah, that happens.
it does.
That
And once
happens.
that happens, and that person's able to unload their troubles or what's been hanging over their shoulders for some time, then the healing process begins energetically for that person. And then
Yeah,
that person goes back out into their world in a lighter fashion, whether
in a
they
different
look at it
frequency
or not,
range. Yeah,
in a
yeah.
different frequency. and it begins to have an effect on everyone who they come into contact with. You see,
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah. Yeah.
beauty of this. But it works both ways, like we said
Yes. Yeah.
before.
There's a benefit. So that's when we get into the idea of the fair exchange of energy. So you don't think there's an exchange of energy going on, but there really is.
There
Right.
really
There
is.
really is. And
Rebecca, you wanted to say something?
Well, no, I was just going to say if I could speak to that, what you said resonated with me, Dan, about people going around having hanged on to negative energy for like 30 years.
yeah, they
Because
do.
literally, I did that for 25 years because
Yeah.
I had an extremely traumatic experience and that colored my whole
Yes.
life.
Yes.
It just did that. It did that. And then this person that came into my life, like you said, Sarah, I just responded to that person. And they were the ones who helped me to start to get out of that.
Yes.
But the problem was they were doing it for me in a way, like I was just sort of dependent on them and I didn't even know why, but now I see why.
Yes.
Now I see why. And so now I see why it kind of broke down too, because they had their own thing as well, which was not, it was very similar to mine. It was similar enough that, eventually the things canceled each other out, if you know what I mean, and the benefits kind of got lost along the way,
Yes.
but not completely. It was just sort of the benefits ceased, and we
When it
had to
was
be
time.
apart for a while in order to work on this particular trauma and to let this go in our own ways. In order to do
Yeah.
that, we had to be apart, and I never saw that until now, but I can see it now. But I do wish that I had like an objective friend, somebody
Yeah.
like what you talked about, maybe
Well,
who had already let go of that particular
you see, it
thing.
happens that way. You
Yeah.
see, the friend that you're talking about,
Mm-hmm.
you two were able to help each other vibrate to a higher frequency until you
Right.
were able to be along the same frequency.
Mm-hmm.
And if the frequency is not high any longer, it becomes even.
Right.
Then it's time, if you're looking to get a little bit higher, it's time
Right.
to go back within yourself, see what you've learned, and
Oh.
then go back out and
Ah.
see where you're vibrating at
Right.
again. You see, you were smart enough to know that things were becoming stagnant with the new friend who was helping you at some point, because you were both having a similar situation going on, and she was able to tell you her experience. Yes.
Well, I wish I could say that I was smart, Sarah, but the truth is
It
things
doesn't
just
matter if you're
actually
conscious.
things actually happened.
I
I
know.
didn't even make any decision.
It
I was
just
carried along.
you moved along to your inner guidance, and you say it's time to separate so I can find out what's going on within me and how to help me out, and then spirit just moved you along,
Hmm.
and then you were able to find your path,
Yeah,
whether
truth be
along
told, I think
or
they realized it before I did because they
good.
had separated themselves first. And then
Mm-hmm.
I just went, whoa.
Yeah.
And I was very traumatized for a little
Oh,
while. I was like, it was almost like a double trauma, but then
it's because you were
through it
hanging on
all,
to the frequency for too long,
yeah,
and the
but
frequency
through it
said,
all,
we're done here.
I realized after I looked at it, after I came back down,
Mm-hmm.
earth, so to speak, or I kind of got back to where I should be. And I mean, that was a lot of it was with Dan's help. I got to tell you, most of it maybe even, and the
See, there
light
you go. It
energies we
happened
talked about
again.
earlier. Yeah,
It happened again, didn't it?
yeah, and I mean, the thing is, it was like after that occurred, and I started to get perspective. My friend and I began to reconnect, and I realized that I needed to learn what I learned.
Yes.
And I'm thinking, that the same thing happened with this person also. I'm
Yes.
not sure, of course, but I have an idea that it did,
It
you know, but
did.
I know for me it did. For me, I
Mm-hmm.
realized I had to go through what I did in order to get back to where I should be, sort of a
Wonderful.
thing, in order to get back where I should be on the path to letting go.
Mm-hmm.
And then my other friend that I was talking about earlier came along and he helped me along that path even more so. So I'm really grateful to him. And I told him, I said, you know, I thank you so much for all that you have done for me. Like, you know, you really helped me more than I can say and more than you know. So
This is
it's
why
just like
everyone you
everything
meet,
happened for a reason, I guess. I don't know.
exactly, it does. This is why everyone you meet is an opportunity for
Yeah,
healing. Everyone you
right.
meet, whether you understand it or not, whether it's conscious or subconscious, everyone you meet gives
Mm,
you an experience to know more about yourself.
right. I
So
can, yeah, I can
that's a
definitely
sphere of
see that. Yeah.
influence as well.
Hmm.
Dan,
What?
you want to talk to any of this idea?
No, it's all wonderful. Isn't it great? You get to see
Yeah.
the expansion, and the expansion expands another expansion, and then that expands, and then you get to witness this expansion. And then if you do that enough, you can see the design of it, and the design is really super cool.
Mhm.
I love just
Yeah.
watching the design and watch something unfold. You know, so
Yeah.
wow, how's that going to unfold? Wow, look at that thing go. And it's like even now, especially now, there's so many diverse unfoldings on the planet right now. It's like mind blowing all this stuff. I can't even keep up with it. You know, so just like yeah, it's all neat stuff. It's all neat stuff, and it's all very amazing what can happen if you begin managing your frequencies, which is what this is. That's exactly at the
Yeah.
simplest level. That's what this is. It's all energy management. It's all frequency. Say, look, you know, we used to respond to these frequencies a certain way, and we got a certain result.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're we're reacting or acting or doing differently with the frequencies, and now we're getting a different result. And only this result is a more preferred result. And then we can refine this even more. And that's the thing. Once you get refining your own frequencies, your own definitions, your own beliefs, your own thoughts, your own heart, come into tune with that and come into alignment of your own self, so many things change, so many things improve, so many things expand in new ways that they couldn't expand. They were dying to expand and they couldn't. They couldn't without your permission.
Mm-hmm.
And if people could learn that big lesson, they live their whole lives and sometimes don't learn that just that one simple thing. Just hey, it's not just about you know what goes around comes around. It's not like that, although it kind of is a description of that. But that's a symptom of it. It's not it exactly. It's just one of the aspects of the symptoms of it. But if you can begin frequency management, if you can begin, you know, belief changing ideas, and if you can, and I'm not saying that you have to accept everything, although you can eventually get to where you can accept everything. I know I finally got there where everything is allowed in creation. You know, when I was trying to figure it all out, and I realized everything is allowed in creation. There's nothing here that's not trying to experience itself. There's nothing here that isn't a piece of creation expanding. So then I thought, oh, well, then there is no such thing as anything wrong because everything is allowed to try to exist. So
Mm-hmm.
then I thought, oh, they said, well, what about that bad thing over there? Well, that bad thing's just trying to exist. Well, what about this thing over here? It's just trying to exist. You know, Well, yeah, but that's a bad thing and it should fail. Well, you don't want something saying you're a bad thing that you should fail. Just let it run its course. Just let it run its course. I mean, you can become, what I call spiritually mature and just say, yeah, you can look at all this bad stuff and then be spiritually awake enough to know this thing needs to run its course. This thing is doing something. It's not here to make us mad. It's here to either bring light to something or bring something out or change or shift something, or maybe something that's been hidden for a really long time is becoming exposed, and then that's what it's doing. And
Mhm.
and when it does something like that, when creation is working within reality, and when it's really, really doing something inside the reality, that looks like chaos.
Like now.
Like now, I know now is the perfect
The
example. It
perfect
looks it
example.
looks pretty flippin' chaotic. And that's creation expanding a whole bunch of stuff and things coming to light. And there's an awful lot going on. And honestly, the best thing to do about it is just lovingly step away from it and just let it unfold. Let it
Yeah.
do its thing. Just, I tell people, yeah, you can be mad about all the stuff if you want to. Being mad makes you happy. You can get all flustered about it if you want to, if flustered's what you want. But if flustered isn't what you want, then just take another step back. Just take another kind of relaxed observation point back and just kind of look at it and go, I'm going to stay safe. I'm going to follow whatever safety protocols that I can do. And I'm going to keep myself protected in that way. And then the rest of it, I'm not judging any of it. I'm not doing any of it. I'm not trying to incorrectly assess any of it, but I'm just going to try to, without getting in its way at all, let it unfold as best as it can. I'm just going to stay kind of the heck away from it.
Yeah.
So what does that mean for me? That means, yeah, follow my protocols. When I go out, I'm going to, use my whatever protections and stuff that I see fit at the time, and then go and then do that, and then come back, and then you clean up and go, okay, life, the rest of the day, part two, right? And then so you have your
Exactly.
busy part of the day, part one. You have your whatever's left of the day, part two, and you get your errands done, and you come back and you sit at your home and you watch Baby Yoda, or you do whatever you're gonna do, right?
I watch
Whatever.
comedy. So
Yeah, I
I could
know.
be laughing all
I'm
day.
really liking the Baby Yoda. So anybody who's been looking at my Facebook lately, it's all full of
Yeah.
Baby Yoda. The Baby Yoda is he's so dynamic though, right? It's like he doesn't really say anything, but he says so much without saying anything. He's just one of those beings that a lot of people are using,
Oh yeah.
and so he serves in that way, and it's really creative. It's just funny how creative some of them are.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's been such a good time. I mean, even though it's a bad time, I've been having some fun. So has Baby Yoda brightened my life a little bit? Yeah. Did Baby Yoda cause me to buy chicken nuggets on May 4th?
Yes, you
Yeah.
May the fourth with
you
you,
know,
yeah.
because even though there is a lot of chaos going on the planet, I still wanted to have some fun with
did.
something, even if
Yeah.
it was just, I don't eat chicken nuggets. I don't, but I did that day. I did that. I had my chicken nuggets and I had my chocolate milk, just like Baby
Oh
Yoda.
yeah.
It's like, oh, the Baby Yoda energy was fine. I was like, I don't know if anybody else is having fun with the Baby Yoda energy, but I am. And hey, I'm having my fun, and they can get theirs. I got mine. They can get theirs. And if
That's
they
right.
don't,
How, wait, Dan,
yeah.
how did that energy of the fun of that day play out to how you were responding to everybody else who either called you or connected with
Well,
you?
it was all right once. Honestly, it was
Honest.
pure hell trying to get chicken nuggets. Right?
But we're not talking about the chicken nuggets.
No, well, you asked me about you. Hey, you asked me
No,
about the
I asked
energies.
you,
You asked me about the
how did
energies of that time, and I told
how
you
did
so.
your calm energy after you got the chicken
After the
nuggets?
after the chicken, yeah,
After
everything
you
was fine. I had my chicken nuggets, and I go, I felt like I was a part of something
yes.
that was calm and was fun loving, and it felt nice to be able to have that energy and
Uh-huh.
tune into that frequency instead of all the other frequencies that most everybody
Mm.
else was
Oh, yeah.
focusing on. So I was in gratitude for being able to have a different perspective and have gratitude for that perspective and go, you know what? I could be flipping out on the same crap everybody else is, but you know what?
Mhm.
I chose chocolate milk.
Right.
That chocolate
And
milk
then
was a
once
better focus than just about any other available focus.
once you connected to people after that instance, how did your
Well then
behavior?
well then it's like this topic. I was able to propagate that frequency out, even if I
Mhm.
Yeah.
didn't mention it, right? So yeah, is that what
Mhm.
you were looking for? So how
Yes.
that energy propagated out? Yeah, it did. It did. Did it absolutely help anybody? I don't, it was pretty quiet after that. I think everybody was so wrapped up in their frequencies that they just couldn't get to my frequency. I kind of went to a no man's land, sort of, because there weren't very many people in Baby Yoda Chocolate Nuggy Land. So it was really calm, quiet spot. So that evening, it was really pretty quiet. So yeah, it was all right. But I still say, you know what, I was still amplifying that frequency.
Yeah.
It just so happened that not too many people could join me, and that was all right too. So
Mhm.
later
Yeah.
that evening, it was just really, really quiet, and I just played my solitaire game. I got Microsoft Solitaire, and I do that, and then sometimes I'll get on YouTube and watch these nice little videos, or some of them are funny, and some of
Were
them.
you able to meditate after that?
No, I didn't meditate because I actually felt in such a good space. It's not that meditation, it's not that I expect meditation to do anything, but sometimes people think, oh, I'm going to meditate so I can calm down. But if you're already calmed down, you think, oh, I'm not going to meditate. I'm just going to have a snack and go to bed.
Mhm.
Well, the
So,
reason why I asked the question
yeah.
is that I'm constantly meditating. And after a good, you know, sit down with myself after eating good food, connecting with friends, sometimes I go into a meditative mode and just even without speaking to people, I begin to vibrate energy outward because I'm in such a calm and steady and happy place that the energy just vibrates
Yeah, you
off of
just
me.
transmit it.
I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
transmit the energy out into the rest of the planet for whoever wants it. So that's another sphere of influence that I know that I can offer, whether people are aware of it or not. And
Yeah.
so I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
wanted to point that out. That's why I kept asking you the question. So what did you do after?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. No, I just kicked it. But yeah, but
Just
I feel that too. I know I'm transmitting all the time. Just
mm-hmm.
what I'm transmitting. But what I've gotten to later in the years here is that I know I'm transmitting, but I no longer look to see for responses. I just
Yeah,
transmit what I transmit, and if they get it, they get it, and if they don't, they don't. And sometimes when they respond, they just want, "Hey, man, there's a thing around you, or man, you're glowy, or you're this, or you're that, or
yeah.
something, or what's up with you?" And you just have to say, "Oh, nothing." you know, what are you
You just
doing?
start glowing and
Nothing.
everybody's noticing it
But I
around.
know exactly what's going on. I said, well, what do I know what's going on? Oh, I know I'm in a good space, and I know that good space is emanating.
Yes.
And you do that, and you do that if you're in the store, you do that if you're out and about, and you do that if you're just sitting in your room, wherever that is. So,
Yeah. I can remember one time I was on my way to work, but for some reason I was so happy getting up, putting on my clothes, and going to work. And I was going to catch a train to get there because it was for like an hour and a half to get there. And I was just glowing for some reason. I was just feeling really, really, really good. And I got on the train and I sat down and I was just smiling to myself the entire time. And literally, the entire train looked at me like out of nowhere. It was like all heads turned to me. and I looked around and I'm still smiling and glowing by myself. And everybody's looking at me like, oh my God, what is going on? And I even got a couple of people commenting. They said, "You're so beautiful. you have so much light in you. You have, like, they can literally feel the energy emanating off of me because I was just so happy within myself that they all felt it. And it was just emanating on the entire train. Everybody kept looking at me the entire hour and a half to my job. And I don't know why I was so happy just to go to the job. I was just happy by myself. But it emanates, it permeates
Yeah, it does. It
everything around
does.
you. So just your happiness alone within yourself begins to emanate and shine the light to all those who are around you. And everyone notices. And so I learned a lot from that experience because I understood that every heart began to, if they were in a lower vibration to begin with, I saw that everyone's frequency began to rise without me saying a word,
Yeah, you don't have to. You wouldn't have to speak.
by itself,
A real
because I was
spiritual
emanating
healer,
so much light.
I don't think a real spiritual healer would actually even say it. They would just be it, wouldn't they?
I was just it.
You were just it, and you just do it.
I didn't say a word. People kept coming up to me by themselves, but I didn't say a word the entire time. I was just giddy by myself, just like shiny energy. And I'm like, yay!
Yeah, yeah.
Party of one over here.
Yeah,
Like,
that's right. Yeah, that happens. It sure does. Yeah,
so now your sphere of influence is not just you. It becomes
yeah.
everyone
It
around.
touches. It's an invisible thing that happens.
Yeah.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes. And it touches, and you just let it touch and go, oh,
Yeah.
I touched it. Nothing you can do about it. Yeah. Have a great day.
And I saw that those
Unless you
faces
choose
that may
not
have
to.
had those faces that may have had frowns on it when I got on the train, they were all smiling and beaming once they got off the train. It was like the
Yeah.
energy totally transformed.
Good.
And so I learned a lot from just that one experience. So your sphere of influence can be quite large and powerful, whether you understand it or not. It touches everyone around you. And so I just wanted to share that because that's what came to mind at this moment.
Right.
So Rebecca,
Hmm.
that's what I was trying to explain earlier. The spheres of influence that you give off, whether you're there or not there after you
Right.
help somebody, is wider, is much broader than you even know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That idea has occurred to me every now and again. I mean, I like to try, even like when I'm on a bus, which I miss going on the bus because we don't really have bus service now. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's very, very limited. And I miss that because, I would like to speak to strangers and,
Hmm.
just say hi and how are you doing and give them a compliment or, just something to make them smile and to make them have a good day. And I would say that, like have a nice day or whatever, not as
Hmm.
a, cliche, but just because I genuinely wanted them to. And
Exactly.
I mean, I felt like when I do that, I feel like, it's helping me have a better day too. So,
Yes, it does. And just that smile alone to them
yeah,
changes their vibration because they'll see you smile and then they'll smile and
true.
then they have something to smile about for the rest of the day because somebody gave them a smile. So even a
Exactly.
smile
Or
is
a compliment.
contagious.
Just a little something to make them feel better, to say, "Oh, I like I like that color. Oh, well, what a nice,
Exactly.
hat or whatever." I have said that to a lady, "You look really nice in that hat," and
Yeah.
things like that. Just little things. And I mean, it doesn't cost anything to do this. And I mean, I
Oh.
just think there's no point at all in somebody, unless you're really not feeling good or you're not feeling it, but why go and close yourself off? I like to be
Mhm.
open. And I guess that's what I learned before. That was my vibrational hang up or whatever you want to call it there. I don't know what it would be. But when I was holding back 25 years because I'd been traumatized, I just could not open up.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't open up. I couldn't let myself go. I couldn't, not in every way, but just in certain ways with certain people.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I just, this person helped me learn how not to be so closed in and how to open myself up to new people and new experiences. And so that was a great thing. That was something I always knew, but I had forgotten.
Yes.
And
See how
so
beautiful that
that's
is?
really valuable to me.
So it's each one teach one and each one fields one.
Yeah, that's very true. Very,
Each
very
one helps
true.
one.
Yeah. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
all healers, you know. Like, I mean, the
Yes.
people that I heal, heal me in return.
Exactly.
So, I mean, it's great because it is a two-way street, and you really see that when
Yes.
you look at it closely and you look at it from a certain perspective, you can start to see all the ramifications, you know, things you would never thought of before, but it's really neat to look at
Yes.
things through fresh eyes.
Hmm. That's why it's important for all of us to be able to look within ourselves, connect to ourselves, and shine our lights when we feel it. I
Hmm.
mean, you're not going to feel it every single day
No,
or all the
you
time,
certainly aren't.
but when you feel it, really think to yourself, let's amplify this energy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And I mean, if you're feeling good, why not spread it around, you know?
Exactly. Spread it around to all those around you.
Exactly. And then, you know, you'll have a lot of people feeling good, not just you. So that's always
Exactly.
great.
Yeah. Dan?
No, I was just thinking, one of the great things that I heard that really helped me switch my processes around and getting the frequencies to go differently. And the phrase is, don't believe everything you think.
Mm,
And in not believing everything you think, it challenges you to not think the easy stuff and not do the herd mentality kind of idea. And it kind
Right.
of challenges you to think a different layer or two or three in, right? Say, okay, well, if I don't believe everything I think, because when you're believing everything you think, you're just taking the easiest of the thoughts. You're not, it's just barely, skimming the surface. It's like a stone just being skipped across the surface, not really getting anywhere. You're just skipping, 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 skipping. And then people, they start this skipping process and then they stay on it for a really long time. Some never get off of it. But if you can get to where I don't believe everything I think, which means I'm going to stop thinking all the easy stuff, and I'm going to go in another layer or two or three and go, oh, I would normally respond however way to
Mhm.
that thing, whatever was presented. And now I'm either not going to act or react, or maybe I'll react, but react differently, maybe more positively. So, oh, I would normally shout out a negative thing at that, but now I'm going to shout a positive thing, or maybe not shout at all and go, oh, that was pretty empowering. I did or didn't do a thing. Go, oh, wow, that's neat. I didn't just do the easy thoughts. I did something different. And you can do that on all kinds of stuff. And that can, if you can practice shifting like that, even if you're having, like, even if a bad day begins to be had, right? What if you start having a bad day? What if everything just, sometimes there are days when all the energy for some reason just collapses, right? Right as you get to it, it collapses. You go to the next thing, it collapses. No matter what, it just collapses. And it's hard not to react to that in some kind of entrained way. But then you might begin to react to it in your entrained way. But then you might challenge yourself to go, oh, what if I don't believe? What if it's okay? Oh, that energy collapsed. Well, all right. Well, I plan to do something. I guess I'll just plan to do something else when the energy collapses like that. Where before, go, oh man, I'm going to shout and I'm going to yell and I'm going to scream and I'm going to be whatever reactive, whatever thing, Tasmanian devil, spaz, whatever permission slips that people use to become whatever unhappy or not. Just go, oh, all the energies are collapsing. Maybe I'll just take a step back and go, oh, maybe I should just stop touching things. Or maybe or maybe it needs to be collapsed, and maybe I should touch everything. Maybe we should just like really do a cleaning here, right? So it's but if you don't, you'll never get because that's kind of humorous. You think, oh, everything I touch just falls apart, and then to be able to go, should I not touch anything or should I touch everything? And like, wow, never had the power to make that decision before, right? Because usually we just react and we don't think first. It's like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, but usually in that sort of event, it pushes you.
Yeah, I was going to say, usually in that kind of event, it's challenging you to think it differently. Exactly. That's the end of it. That when it gets to that, when it's that bad, when everything is collapsing, no matter what it is, then you kind of go, all right, soul, what's going on here? Are we done with this? Because this is just nonsense now. Are we getting a new slate? What's going on? We're going to have a clean slate now because are we saying goodbye to all of this stuff? And it usually does. It usually does signify a change, or at least a fairly good change. And then, so having a good change or having a less good change, because some people, changes are bad. Well, not always. I mean, they can look that way, but that doesn't mean they are that way. And it's bad. All right, here's the real deal. The real deal, if you take love out of the equation, then it's bad. And if you keep love in it, then it's okay.
Yeah, right? But those moments that you need to make a decision because
it's sometimes hard to stay in love when you're in that negative of an entrainment. Yeah, it's sometimes hard to choose love. It's sometimes hard to choose the higher road when you're in it.
Even if you can't find love in that situation, you can find a step higher than the situation that you're in because it pushes you to make a decision which will cause a change.
Yeah, well, it depends on how overwhelming the energies are collapsing. I mean, if it's just so bad that you are energetically aback, where it just makes you like take a step back and go, okay, well, what's going on here? Mm-hmm. What's happening here?
And then you find a higher.
And then you go, oh, but I stopped reacting to following the things I was thinking. So this all goes back to, don't believe everything you think. Because when you don't believe everything you think, it gives you this opportunity to take the step back and go, oh, what's going on here? What's changing here? What's expanding here? What's my soul telling me?
Yeah, even if it's a thought of something that you're thinking, the fact that it's just an idea you're thinking, that allows for you to be able to analyze the thought. It's not something that have been manifested until you make a decision on.
Well, yeah, the thoughts are there that get your attention.
Allows you to make certain inferences or allows you to analyze what's been given to you as a thought. And if you like it, you follow the thought. If you don't.
No, it just cut your audio right off right there. Yeah, can't hear you. I don't know if you can hear me, but your audio's gone off again. It always does that. Right when you get into meaty something, it always cuts it off right there. As soon as the good part's coming, let's cut our internet off.
Okay.
Let's cut her out.
So I'm here.
Yeah, now it's back.
Good.
So what I was saying is the thoughts, when you notice the thoughts coming into your mind, first it is to notice, then it is for analyzation, to get your brain moving in.
Yeah, it's up for a vote. It's up for a vote if that's the way you want to go. Yeah,
yes, exactly. So whether or not you choose to follow it. So if
Right.
it's a higher thought or a thought that you choose to follow and follow the process of it, then you go that direction. If it's a thought that you did not choose, then you let that go. But you have to have enough strength of inner wisdom and compassion for yourself to know which thoughts are the ones you want to follow.
Right. So having a lesser commitment to the thoughts. So this whole thing about don't believe everything you think, what it is it's a permission slip to be less committed to the thoughts. So,
Exactly.
so you could, most people are very committed to their thoughts. If they think it, oh, by golly, that's just how that is. But the idea is when you don't believe everything you think, it offers you a level of discernment. So I'm thinking all this stuff. You say, yeah, but should you be thinking all that stuff?
No,
Should you
not
really
should you
be?
be thinking it, it's do you choose it?
Do you choose? Well, that's what I say. Are you thinking it?
Right.
Do you want to commit to where that energy goes or not?
Yeah.
See, so it offers that kind of level of discernment where some people have that very well and some people don't. I'm trying to think of a situation like where traffic is really bad. Like if I'm riding the bike and traffic is really bad, and there might even be a bunch of people on the sidewalk, so you can't use the sidewalk, but the people that are driving aren't paying attention, so it's dangerous there. And it's kind of like, oh boy, do I keep riding or do I stop? Right? And there might be somebody else there go, man, this traffic is awful. So yeah, but it's not just car traffic, it's foot traffic, it's all kinds of traffic, it's all the traffic. It's like, all right, do I get angry or do I, sometimes somebody might yell something, get out of the way. It's no, you get out of the way. You're the one in the way. I'm not in your way.
Or you
And
can
then
choose to
and then you
stop
might
and
say,
wait
I don't have time to argue with you. I want to have lunch. I'm going home. You all
Mm-hmm.
just had this argument all by yourself, right? And I'm leaving. And
So
you all
there were
just
a lot of
knock
thoughts
yourself.
like that.
So if I didn't have the don't believe everything you think, I wouldn't have had the you'd have been committed to the thinking. And if you're committed to the thinking, sometimes that commits you to an argument, or it can commit you to a confrontation, or it can commit you to if you don't pull back and say, you know what, screw you, I'm hungry, I'm going, I'm out of here. It just, sometimes in life, it's just like, yeah, I don't think I'm doing that.
Well, it's perceiving what your choices are
Yeah.
because you
But
have
yeah,
more
it's reading the
choices than
energies as they're unfolding, and you can commit or not commit to it. But this phrase of "don't believe everything you think" is a really nice permission slip to not be committed to ideas that you don't have to follow through on them. No, just because you're invited to an argument doesn't mean you have to have it, right?
Very true.
Just because you're invited to a bunch of contrasts doesn't mean you have to have it. So like there's an awful lot of contrast going on right now, and I'm not having a whole lot of it. I'm having some of it because I'm keeping myself aware of the energies that are unfolding on the planet, but I'm not committing to them. Do I agree that there's a lot of good and bad going on? Yeah, but do I believe that there's a hidden, you know, work at hand going on, that this is going to be better maybe in a lot of different ways that we can't see coming? And I'm thinking, yeah, it's more that than anything right now. So I'm not saying anybody is bad, anything is bad. I'm saying that whatever is going on right now, this huge change of expansion that's going on right now, even though parts of it are ugly, I'm saying it's a good thing. I think this is going to bring forth so much change that we have all been asking for. We've been asking for more openness. We've been asking for more truth. We've been asking for more transparency. We've been asking for more integrity from the people who say they have it, right?
Mm.
We've been asking for all of this stuff, and now everything is in turmoil right now, and everything's chaotic right now. And I think, I think it's given us what we want, because we've also been asking, we want our planet to be healthy, and we want this. And look at
yeah.
how healthy our
Look
planet
at
is right now. It's the healthiest it's been in 100 freaking
Oh,
years,
I know.
right? And it's like, man, this is awesome, you know?
It's
Now,
amazing.
if we could just talk them into doing the rest of the stuff, like do all the road works now, let's go ahead and do the 2020 census since everybody's home. We can count
Yeah.
everybody right now. Let's go ahead and do the census.
Good
Let's
idea.
go ahead and do all the road work since nobody's using the roads that much right now. Go ahead and get all the road works done. Go ahead and fix everything while everybody's out of the way. I mean, it's so safe for everybody. I mean, insurance company couldn't ask for better. They just want, oh, there's no hazard here. Nobody's here to have a hazard with. Well, just, do all the work now. Do the census now. Do everything else now. And just, and then when things open up and do more whatever, we're gonna expand it to the next expression of whatever society's going to be then for a while,
Mhm.
and
And
so
here's another good thing. We've been asking, for information to come out about spaceships, and all of a sudden the Pentagon puts it out
yeah, yeah,
by
yeah,
themselves.
yeah. Guess what? We found some UFOs for you guys. Yeah, thanks.
So a lot of
Thanks for
things that are
dumping it
happening
into
all
all
of
the
a sudden.
chaos. Yes. So if you don't have the thing, oh, let's look at all the stuff. But then again, I've seen the other stuff too. So, well, everything's a UFO until you define it. So that's true. I've been hit with stuff I didn't know what it was until what was that? It was a UFO until you found, that's what bounced off my head. Okay, it's a leaf or it's a tree or it's a this or a bug or whatever. It's like, oh,
Exactly.
you were a UFO until I saw you, dude. Where'd you learn to fly anyway? You see my
Well,
big head in the
and not
way.
only that, hold on, and not only that, our connections to everything around us has become more pronounced. More people want to be outside. They want to connect to nature.
Mm,
They want to connect to people more than ever before. They want to experience themselves, as things outside of what was the norm,
yeah.
right? Now,
I think it's neat how it serves that it lets people realize things that they really do like about
Hmm.
their life. Because as you're
yes.
saying that, I'm being reminded, so after the tornado, because I survived the tornado in 2011. And after the tornado, well, actually, it was a couple of weeks before things kind of even started to begin to get back to normal. Everything was like on hold for a couple of weeks. And so that when we were able to get into what stores were open, when we were in, we would see somebody and say, hey, how are you? And then we would sit there and then wait for the answer because we genuinely wanted to know how they were. But what I was going to
Hmm.
get on about is we had time to think about things that we really did enjoy. So look, we like saying hi to these people when we're at the store. We like seeing
Yeah,
these certain ones. We like going to the places that we go to get the stuff
exactly.
that we get. We liked these things. And then it's like people were in a great appreciation about everything. So hi, how are you? And then sit there and wait for the answer and say, how are you doing? Are you okay? Were you hurt during the event? And no, we weren't hurt, or we were hurt, but we were only hurt financially, or we were only hurt here, or we were only hurt there, or sprained this or did that or whatever. But for the most part, we're okay with it. But everybody, that was another thing. Everybody lost something. Everybody lost something. Most people lost everything
And in
Mm.
that loss,
except themselves and the
they
things that
found.
they love. Yeah, so it
Mhm.
was neat after that. So for a good like 6 months, everybody was really, really, really good to one another until the energy started shifting back into a more normal whatever it was.
Mhm.
But it was neat to have that camaraderie, that common ground, that so yes, it was limited, but it was limited on some of the stuff, but it really amplified what everybody else thought was important and what everybody thought it was important. So they were able to amplify what was important to them. And then even later when they asked me,
So
so
the
why,
more
why did this
positive
tornado
energy.
happen? I said, I think a bunch of people were secretly asking for change and the universe didn't know what to do. So it brought an F5 tornado and just wiped the slate clean and everybody got a new house. And everybody got a new car, and everybody got new furniture, and everybody got new everything. Everybody ate different. Everybody had different food because they came and they fed us and they did stuff. They fed us for months. And so after a disaster like that, they feed you for a while. You get furniture, you get stuff, you get clothes. I mean, so it's like everybody was secretly asking for change, and the universe said, All right, what are we going to do here? So, well, let's give them a tornado. That'll give them that. Everybody got a new house, or
Oh,
everybody moved on, or everybody did something else. But either way, all everything changed for all of those,
mm-hmm.
for the whole town. There were 50,000
Mm-hmm.
people there, and there wasn't anybody in that town that was not affected. Nobody
Yes.
was.
So the
Nobody was
same thing is
free.
actually happening right now. The same thing is
Kind of,
occurring.
yeah. We have a thing that's going on now where there's this big
People are getting
thing.
fed like they never have before.
Well, I don't know about that, but
They
yeah.
have no, 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 no. In the cities, in the
Well,
cities
I'm
where
in the
people
city.
are
It's
having their
not
money,
been great here.
they've been people have been stepping up, donating funds, cooking food for entire hospitals and entire communities to make sure everybody remains fed, even if they didn't have any money. People are stepping up left and right. They're having a new editorial on the news every day about a new positive action that someone has done every day now. When before we did not see that. Well, I'm in Miami, and most of the time we get very negative news. And
Yeah.
this is the first time in a very long time where the negative news is kind of being offset by positive news.
That's
Oh,
great.
good.
This is the
That's awesome.
first time that I can remember.
Yeah.
And people want to showcase more people doing positive things
Good.
around the city, because people got so tired of all the negative news, and nobody wants to watch that. They're finding their viewership has gone down because of all the negative news. And all of a sudden, you're seeing the news becoming positive and more positive and more positive. So something good is really coming out of all of this.
It's another example of where the energy is expanding. There's healing energy being made available. And now you're seeing it represented in like the news stations that normally wouldn't. So you're seeing this positive spin that wasn't normally there
Mm.
before. So you're seeing this positive expansion
That
going
was
on
not there at all.
that was not there at all, which is the topic of this kind of talk, is how the things are expanding, even sometimes without our knowledge.
Mm.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
and even through diversity, even through sometimes extreme diversity.
Extreme
So
diversity.
there could
Yes.
be crisis, there could be disaster, there could be whatever huge turmoil, whatever huge calamity, and yet there's still this healing, amplifying, this energy propagating, this stillness, whatever happening, and say, oh, well-being is speaking again, and go, and that's an interesting thing to try to point out to people. Say, anytime anything goes really haywire, well-being is always there to step up. Every time something happens, well-being
Hmm.
is there, and it's well-being that people focus on, and we sure enjoy it.
Yeah.
So maybe we all co-created this, maybe so we could have some more well-being because we sure like it.
Yeah.
you know and people say, we didn't do this. Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. This
I
is our
like to
co-creation. Yeah.
I like to challenge everyone to begin looking for all the positive occurrences that is happening at this time.
Yeah, challenge.
And
Yeah,
if you find one, please write it at the in the comment section, where on Facebook or YouTube, please write it in the comment section,
yeah.
because
I
I would
noticed
like
something
to
good here. I noticed
begin
something
to
good there.
amplify
Yeah,
the positivity of what's going on
examples of
today.
positive
And
expansion.
when I
Yeah,
receive, when I see it in the comment section or when I see it on Facebook,
yeah.
I am going to promote that positivity and put it up so everyone can see it.
Well, if they're commenting, aren't they already seeing it?
If you comment, come and comment. What positive occurrence have you seen in your life that
Mhm.
has changed in your life?
Yeah, something that broke the norm. Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
Something that at first it was one way and all of a sudden it's becoming another way in a positive way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's just amplify that energy. Yes.
Yeah. And then I'm thinking this would be a good point to close out the topic. And then
Yeah.
you want to do a quick is there a language that wants to come up? A
Well,
little quick
I want
blessing?
to ask Rebecca. I want
Oh,
to ask
okay.
Rebecca if there's something she wanted to say before we go.
Oh, well, it's just very, very interesting that you're talking about that because I can think of one thing that has definitely, it seems like it's starting to change for me. It's almost like this whole thing has been a reset.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the attitude of the people, some of the people at my office towards me.
Wonderful.
And it seems like it's gone from being pretty negative to being more positive now, much more positive. And that's a really good thing because it really helps lighten my load. So I'm just
Yes.
hoping and praying that that positivity will continue, and I'll do all I can to try to foster that,
Yes.
reaction in them myself.
And you
It's
are the
almost like the
spearhead.
whole thing was a reset. I think it's a reset for the
It is
planet.
reset.
I really do. I think it's like a reset for everybody.
Yes, it is. A
Oh my
planetary reset.
goodness. Speaking of which, I just got a text from my, wow, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So the
Uh,
planetary reset in a positive direction. This
yeah,
is what we're looking at.
it's
This is what
amazing.
we're
It's
looking
really,
for.
really amazing. And I just mentioned that, and my supervisor just texted me. We've been off from the libraries for ever since March 17th.
Mm-hmm.
And he just texted me, and for weeks there's been no news, but now it's starting to be that we are hopefully going to be able to go back very soon.
Wow.
All right.
So it's pretty amazing. I mean, we were just talking about it,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
and it's like, wow, that's
Yes.
really amazing.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah, that's how it works. Beep, beep. Mhm.
So you stay safe as best as possible, but it's wonderful to be able to become sociable again.
Yes. And you, Sarah, also, my goodness, you stay safe as well because
Thank
it's
you.
been such a joy getting to chat with you and converse with you, and hopefully I'll get a couple more chances to do this before I,
Before work kicks
get
in.
back to the regular routine.
Yes.
Back to
I
Wonderful.
mean, I've really
Wonderful.
enjoyed it. I really have. And I hope to get to drop in again.
Yes, you can. We we welcome you anytime you wish.
Thank you, Sarah. That's very nice. I appreciate that.
So thank you everyone for joining us today. Uh, if you like what you've heard today, please share to your families, to your friends. Please share because this information is important for us all, for our expansion as human beings, for our expansion as spiritual beings. So please, please do share, comment, like, subscribe, all of those good things. Uh, and I love you. So I'm going to offer a prayer to change, to change and positivity. Isia ti sulataya, kenai tiki iwahia, kialiti kolati asa, moya tai akai sia kuota, kialatku osha, kianai si, kiomaiak, ana ak isulatak, ex alakutu ushale, kia sulai ni isila, kia su olai tisia, Maisi kulai a kiasi kutu ushalati ataya hatai ni kiyawata ala ati asi ana. Namaste.
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 Thank you, everybody. I'll stop the recording
Thank you.
right
No,
here.
no, no. Let's
Oh,
just give love first.
do
We
what?
love you. We love you. We love you. And I like to say that at the end because I
Okay.
want to amplify love in
Okay.
our heart. So I love everyone and I love you all. And
Yeah. We love the expansion of the expansion. All righty.